Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining in for this week's episode of Big Beer Friday. We're here in Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey, at one of the newest breweries in the state and definitely down here at the shore, so I'm super pumped to be here. This is my first time, and I'm joined by all three of the owners. We've got Bert, Danny, and Nick. And you guys want to introduce yourself and tell what your main jobs are here around the brewery, other than just making sure everything goes to plan?
This is the entire Last Wave crew, along with a couple bartenders. So we really do everything. I mean, owners, brewer, bartender, janitor, delivery guy, you name it. We're making it happen. So
Hustlers.
We're happy to do it.
Right on. So we're gonna get into the first beer here, and I believe this one is called A-Frame. So I'll let you guys take it from there. Explain what we're gonna be drinking here, what people might expect if they order this when they visit.
Yeah, so A-Frame is our IPA. We like to call it a hazy wheat IPA because we use wheat, and it has this really nice New England haze to it. Really the hop profile that we're looking for here is citrusy grapefruit with some really nice herbal notes as well. It's a well-rounded beer. It's got a little bit of color in there from some caramel malt. Both Nick, myself, and Danny are fans of a more well-rounded beer. We try and pair a really nice malt body with a solid hop. So.
Paul says, awesome new brewery with great beer. A-Frame is my favorite. Cheers, guys. Cheers to you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
I did get here a little early, and I had a flight, and A-Frame was definitely a highlight, although I can say all the beers were delicious.
Thank you.
All four that I did try.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like it's a little different, I think, than some people expect from an IPA. Like, we've had people come in that will say they want an IPA, and we'll give them that, and they've enjoyed the real complexity and like the hop flavor and aroma comes from it. And we've had people that say, I don't really like beer or IPAs, and we've had them try because it's big on late edition hops. So you're not getting it's not like twisting your tongue up with bitterness. It's really like kind of like a subtle, enjoyable flavor you can drink on a hot summer day, and have a couple of without destroying your taste buds. So it's been well received, and we're happy because it's one of our favorite beers to make and drink also.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of throwing wheat in IPAs. Pat Carringer says, A-Frame is my favorite. The owners ain't bad either. A-Frame, big hit. Yeah. Sweet. All right, well, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for hosting us today.
Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, yeah. Big fruity nose on it.
Yeah. Any reason to drink a couple beers is...
Yeah.
We're into it.
So we got some really fluffy microfoam head here.
Yeah.
This might be some of your guys' first experience with physics. And what it actually does, if you notice while I was pouring, when you push back, instead of pouring beer, the beer passes through a sonic wave oscillator, which creates what we call microfoam. Really tiny bubbles of a uniform size that gives you longer head retention, and then some other benefits.
I was going to say, it's sticking around.
Yeah, that's going to hang, and it's if you got a nice clean glass, which looks like we have, you get some great lacing. This increased surface area of the foam is going to give off more of those volatile aroma compounds. In this case, from all your hops.
There's a lot of notes.
You work hard to pack those hops into the glass, so I want to get the full experience. But this is a yummy one. I think the Northeast has a pretty intense craze for hazy IPAs right now. Oh yeah, it's beautiful lacing there, if you guys can see. So this is what everybody wants to drink right now. So you guys nailed it with this one. This will probably be one that you continue to brew on a regular
100%.
basis.
This is one of the staples.
We've brewed it 3 times already, so we've only been open 6 weeks.
So walk everyone up to how did we get to here? So when did you open, and what was the process like? How many months did it take you to get to here?
Yeah, so we've been homebrewing for almost 8 years now, I don't know, maybe 2 years in, we kind of started to get a little bit more serious about this, and I think every homebrewer goes through the phase of like, man, we should really do this like full time. At that point, kind of we started talking about it more and more, and then Danny said, basically, do this or stop talking about it. And that was kind of the catalyst for both Nick and I, who were pretty easygoing guys who probably wouldn't have, embarked upon the journey ourselves. But so we at that point changed directions a little bit and, really started trying to hone each beer down. We've done a lot of experimentation with this beer and a lot of tweaking and honing. And this is kind of, where we landed in a really good spot. So we're happy with this one. But after that, about, it was 2 years ago now, just about 2 years ago now, we actually started making the moves toward making this the space. So, we were looking for real estate right around 2 years ago.
The plan was always Point.
Yeah, exactly. We always knew that Point Pleasant Beach would be the spot we wanted to be. We also, from the beginning, knew that surfing was going to be a theme here. We wanted to combine two of our passions.
Yeah, for me it was like I wanted a job that I could, do and eventually, like I said, kind of set my schedule. Surfing is like kind of the driving force behind, what it did. Like even with this, I was like, you know what, we need to learn about the brewing process. So I'll bite the bullet, move out to San Diego, torture myself, living a block from the Pacific Ocean, surfing and working at Mission Brewery, which is it's a great place to learn, like, it's not just like brewing process, but there's a lot that you see when you work at a brewery that like just, operationally, like, how they schedule beers to, to make sure they're like keeping on top of that, processes in brewing for sanitary purposes. There's all that stuff. Like, I got to go out there and work for John Egan. Shout out to Mission Brewery out there. And like I said, a lot of good beer out there, plenty of good waves. But, it was always the plan to come here and do this because we love New Jersey and love the Jersey Shore. And beer. We want more beer here, so.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like lifestyle by design. I like this and I like this.
Yeah. So
this is how I want to spend my time. It's the most valuable asset you have in life.
Life's all about enjoying yourself. So we enjoy making beer, we enjoy surfing. If we can make one support the other, that's the way.
So that kind of ties in there to the next question is Last Wave, the name.
Yeah.
Last Wave, obviously we have a surf theme going on here, and if you guys stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to walk the camera around and give you kind of a little virtual tour. But really cool decor in here. There's surfboards on the wall, some broken ones, which if you go through on
personally broken by Nick and myself. So
if you go through on the Instagram feed, they got a great social media. Check them out at Lost Wave Brewing.
Yeah, at
Last Wave Brewing. And then you can see the whole build out process. But yeah, really really cool how they're incorporating the whole surfing lifestyle, being right here in Point Pleasant Beach, so close to the coast, and kind of building your dream brewery upon one of your other passions. So,
yeah, and Last Wave itself has a pretty good meaning, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we tossed around a bunch of names, backgrounds in marketing and branding. So I mean, that was like almost a fun thing for us. Like that's like really like we've done it for other people, and like to actually do something that represents us as people and something we care about was like. That was always like a driving force. So
it was also like the hardest part.
Yeah,
actually,
we
choose one.
Yeah,
there's so many these days.
Yeah, like I said, we wanted to represent us, but we also wanted to be something people would resonate with other people too. We don't want to just be something really out there. But Last Wave, we always kind of talk about it. If you surf, that it's kind of actually a curse to like say, oh, this is my last wave, because like then you sit there and you won't catch any waves. It's like it's one of those like personal hexes, but. The idea behind the name that we came up with is kind of like different. It's like, when you're surfing, no matter what, that last wave, you want it to be the best wave of your session, because before you got to go back to, whatever you got on land, whether it's a job or, that's the one that you want to like really like
can't end on the bad one.
You want to, you can't end on the bad one, so you want to remember that one. You want to hold it over until the next time you get out there and get to enjoy the ocean. So that was kind of the thinking, like, that's what we want our beer to be. We want our beer to kind of, when you drink it, you sit there, you want to enjoy it with your friends like you enjoy serving with friends. And until the next time you can sit down and enjoy a good craft beer with your friends, want it to hold you over. So it's the same passion that goes into it. That's what we want Last Wave beer to be to people. That's what it is to us. So
yeah.
That was kind of like the thought, yeah. And like I said, it's the ocean.
I mean, you guys are super local to me, so I'm going to be coming back here. I'm just up in Asbury Park, so. Let's move on to the next beer. We're gonna have a little spectrum of color here. We're starting off with our kind of golden IPA here, and then we're moving on next to the. Why don't you Name this one again? Was
Yes,
Red,
this is Red Sky.
Red Sky.
Yeah, it's our red ale. It's got a really solid caramel nose as well as caramel body right up front, which it comes from some of those roasted malts that we use, the caramel malts. And it's got a really nice kind of vanilla middle, and it still finishes dry, so it's a nice full-bodied beer. But what we wanted to do with this one was we wanted to kind of give it a little bit more complexity. And Nick and I have for a while have experimented with cigar boxes as a medium of wood. It's not really. It's not something you see often using cigar box wood, but both of us love the flavor of it, even though neither of us smoke cigars. But it's got a really nice spicy wood flavor. It also adds a little bit of vanilla. Also, we've gotten that it dries it out a little bit more on the finish. So it's very interesting. It's definitely adds a complexity to this beer that I think goes really well with what we intended for it to be.
Yeah, like I said, the regular Red Sky is like a beer that is, I think, surprised some people because like people know other red ales, and I don't think it really fits in that category necessarily specifically. But I mean, like, it's like kind of not a redheaded stepchild, but it's a beer that just kind of like it's in its own category. It's sweet, it has like flavor to it without being super heavy, but it's not light. It's a different beer.
Yeah.
I also find that a lot of people that say that they don't like beer end up liking Red Sky.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of.
Yeah, exactly. There'll come people that ask, like, is it, what's the lightest beer you have? It's like, we want to encourage people to experiment a little bit. And like, this is a beer that, while it's not a light beer by any means, it's a beer that, it's not going to, it's not overly aggressive in any direction. It just comes across as like a
Cheers,
beer
guys.
Yeah. Cheers, Nick.
Cheers.
This the nose on this with off of this
This foam.
the foam smells
Yeah,
amazing.
The
I mean,
flavors come like
oh,
right
yeah.
away.
yeah.
Wow, I was very intrigued when I saw the cigar box wood aged variant of this, which is a limited edition. Sorry if you guys come and it's not here anymore, but you can try the
This
Red
weekend.
Sky.
Yeah.
And if you really want it, let them know on social. Maybe they'll brew it again. But how did you guys do that? Did you find some cigar boxes, break them up?
Yeah,
and
so
soak
we
them?
we took a half barrel keg and we pulled off the Red Sky into a separate vessel with cigar boxes, and it sat on there for about 2 weeks and pulled it back in, and so it definitely has a lower carbonation, which kind of is nice and like kind of that cask aged feel.
Yeah.
And this brings out like a lot of the
Yeah, you were
vanilla
saying
comes
you're
in.
like this might be a good one for physics because it's more of a lively carbonation than like a lively cask.
Yeah, like when you
opposed to,
cast
like, a
something
super carbonated.
Yeah, because we're
I think
transferring
it
to a
would.
cask for a little bit. You're going to lose some carbonation. We recarb it again, as it goes into the tank. But there's only so much you can bring back, and then to get this foam back like it is, it really brings the flavor. Like
foam on demand. You can fill your whole glass if you want. So yeah, it really does give you some of that spicy and like
spicy wood and vanilla.
Yeah.
vanilla really
I
comes
get
through
it.
more.
Yeah.
that vanillin in the wood. It's amazing.
From the actual cigars.
Yeah.
And who knows what cigars are in there? Maybe you guys do. I don't know. Next time you can do a whole line with all the different types of cigars.
Yeah, I mean, we could experiment.
Yeah.
Like I said, we did it, in home brewing. We kind of saw it and tried it on a couple different beers, and like it will change. Like flavor will change. You're always gonna get that wood spiciness, but like if you do it with an IPA, you're obviously gonna get a different like complexity to it.
Yeah.
It almost replaces hops at certain times with how it brings. It's a bold flavor. Like,
We've done
changes.
dark beers, light beers, IPAs. So like,
I haven't seen it with a red, really. Not that I can think of. And going back to what you're saying is people don't, usually flock to reds. I mean, there's the whole like, everyone had a pale, an amber, and a brown in like the 90s, and the red is kind of like supplanted the amber in some ways. You have like amber at the end of lagers, but then you have the red ale, the red IPAs. But to have a really nicely done like American red is. It's a beer you shouldn't pass on, even though it may not like your reds and your browns aren't always exciting, but there's some really good ones out there.
Well, like I said, we want to, we like, I wouldn't like put us in any category as beer drinkers. Like we, kind of the mantra here is style matters. Like it's another thing that translates from surfing to beer drinking. Like we mentioned, like it's both about storytelling, but like, you know, two guys doing the same turn on the surfboard is going to look drastically different because of style. You know, there's only so many styles of beer while people are crossing. Some of them, like in the same style, you make an IPA, you know, they're going to be different depending on how you fit, you know, depending on how you build them. So like our red ale is like meant to be like a stylish beer that's, you know, it's not going to be in your face, but it's a quality crafted beer. It's one of the first beers I think that we perfected. You know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We tweaked it, and we just went back to the original. Like I said, it worked. You know, we knew that early on. And
Early favorite with friends and
it
family.
might even been the first beer that people enjoyed that they weren't humoring us.
Yeah. This is good.
It's very balanced and drinkable. There's no like, and that's a lot of times what gets the novice drinker is the surprising drinkability with full flavor.
Yeah,
so it's like,
and that's what I mean.
You're not
like,
compromising. Like, you get drinkability in some other mass market beers out there, but do you also get like full flavor and, you know, some body to go with it? And like, wow, I'm surprised. Like, this is super easy to drink, but also like really good.
Yeah. No, yeah, like I said, we like drinking it. We like brewing it. It's, you know, it's going to be around. You know, maybe not, the cigar box one's not going to be around all the time, but your standard Red Sky will be there. You know,
that's
right
one
on.
of the staples.
Around.
Have you determined your beers that are going to be year-round yet, or are you still kind of getting feedback on that?
Well, yeah, I think we're definitely.
I think
we're
the
about 6
A-frame
weeks
and
in.
the sounds like this one. Yeah.
A-frame and Red Sky will definitely be around. I think other beers we'll try and keep on tap. Will be our, you know, chocolate coffee stout.
That was moving. I had like one of probably the last
That one
tasters
we
of that
just
today.
kicked. We got another one in the tank right now, but we just kicked that one. And the coconut porter, I don't think we can not brew that. That one's up next. I know.
I saw you guys
spoiling that.
toasted the coconut.
Yeah, toasted coconut porter.
We got some help from our friends at
Extra
River
mile.
Market Grill.
Yeah, right over here at River Market.
Shout out, keeping it local.
Yeah, we want to keep it, you know, people helping people. We couldn't toast 30 pounds of coconut in our house.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's you probably would have to be in all of your ovens and all the employees' ovens.
Yeah.
Bring it here. Yeah, that's cool.
So-
Get people nearby to help out. Get them involved. That's what do you do for the coffee in that one? Is that a
So we like to do half of our coffee goes right in as an addition at the end of the boil to bring out some of like a traditionally roasted coffee, like a, you know, cup of coffee in the morning type flavor.
Right.
And then we also cold
that's
brew
actually
the second
getting heated
half.
up? Cool.
Yeah, so the first half is in the boil, the second half is cold brewed, and it gives us a really nice combination of, you know, two of the best ways to drink coffee, and it gives a lot of great flavor without being overly bitter, is what we really love about it. So,
And our next one that's coming out of the tanks is actually coming from local Port Coffee.
Oh.
yep,
Nice.
we changed up the coffee suppliers to a local supplier named Port, that Danny was saying, and they actually worked with us to come up with, you know, we tasted a whole bunch of coffee to really understand what
That's probably a really fun day.
Yeah, we were moving that day. But
We got a lot done in the afternoon.
yeah. So we, we tasted a bunch of coffee to really understand what was going to work best for us in the beer. And they've been really, really supportive in the way that, like, we'll roast whatever you want. Just tell us kind of how to get there.
So where are they located in Point or up?
Yeah, they roast in Point right now. You can get them at the
super local, not just local, super local.
Yeah, super local. You can get them over at the farmers market here on Sundays, as well as the farmers market down in Brick on Saturdays. So.
Right on.
Yeah, and they make awesome beer. They have a nitro cold brew that is absolutely incredible.
So that's interesting. I like the way that you added the coffee, kind of get like the best of both worlds, because everyone's like, should I do this or this or this? Because there's a lot of different techniques out there, and you can read about a lot. But it's interesting. Just like, why don't we get the best?
Yeah, I think it's important
of
to have
the
a
roasted
balanced
coffee
experience.
and like that smooth cold brew, like coffee essence.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of, we're talking about coffee. What I'm actually pouring here right now is the toasted coconut that we alluded to before.
Yes.
So I'm excited to try this. Big fan of toasted coconut in beer. I've brewed some myself and would love to see how it does in a stout.
This one's a porter, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, we're
getting
this is the
close
porter.
there. I mean, this is definitely a full roasty porter to start with, and then we layer on the coconut. One of the things that, like Nick said before, style matters to us. What we try and do first is we try and brew a beer, in style, but also we want to brew a great beer first. So we don't want to, get to coconut before we actually have a good beer to put it on,
right.
Which I think can happen, covering flavors with other flavors, but we really, really love that base style. So our porter, this porter can stand on its own, but we really think that with the coconut, it really enhances it.
I just sniffed that for the first time.
Sounds
Big
like-
time.
Yeah.
Literally my favorite beer.
Yeah,
I think
it
more.
is.
Yeah. Right now, you really get the
It's
toasty.
toasty,
kind,
but
yeah.
it's and coconut obviously, but like vanilla comes through too. I think.
Yeah. And then the roasted with almost like the chocolate
Big
notes from
time.
the chocolate malt.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like more than you can tell the coconut is like perfectly toasted too.
Yeah.
Because you're getting that.
Oh, I saw the pictures and it was
Yeah.
golden brown.
yeah.
This is
Yeah,
so this-
John over Rivermark was very like he was
he
taking
did a
the
good
artist
job.
touch to toast this thing.
Now, does this grist differ much from the chop hop porter? 'Cause that's
No.
that's a little.
Yeah, it's similar, but we hop the chop hop a little bit differently. But the grist is actually very similar.
Right, yeah, I did
Yeah.
see it had more IBU, but this one's definitely
Yeah, we kind of like
very
do it
different because I had that one before.
It's like kind of like a fork in the road. Like one goes like bitter with extra Cascade hops, like kind of down towards like the Trogues Dead Reckoning, which was like one of my favorite porters, and this one goes in a very tropical
Oh my
direction.
Yeah.
It's like a liquid almond joy.
All right.
We kind of call it like the tropical islands meet the barrier islands, which
Yeah.
Point Pleasant's kind of the start of the barrier islands here in New Jersey, which is a little more rugged. It's that dark, deep flavor, with the little tropical notes. It hits the spot.
Yeah, that's really good.
We're fans of dark beer all year, so
Yeah.
I could drink it on the beach.
This,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Some of
you'll
these.
always be able to get dark beer all year here.
Good,
Because
good.
We just, it's one of those things where we enjoy the beer, so we can't not brew it in the summertime, even though, that's kind of the time when you think about like a sessionable beer.
Yeah.
These just,
No,
they stick around.
You want these year round. I like to have a nice little spectrum here. This is a question I like to ask people sometimes. If you could only have 3 beer styles on tap for the rest of your life.
Oh, man.
Styles. We won't get nitty gritty with like sub styles, but
I think our staple beers probably cover a
Yeah.
really solid base. I think the A-frame IPA.
no. Sorry,
Personal.
You personally.
Yeah.
Personally. You got 3 taps.
Just
Doesn't
burn
have
rolling.
not last wave beers.
All right.
Your 3 personal favorites, or ones that you, if you had to just only have 3.
Styles or actual beers?
Styles.
All right.
That'd be way too low.
Yeah, but we get.
So yeah, I would say I need a solid IPA. I mean, even though Nick and I brew a ton of different styles of beer, the hops just get me,
Yeah, I mean,
so-
it's totally one of the main
Yeah.
flavor forward things, like the hop. You have to have a hop forward one in there. I agree.
I'd take a stout, and then probably on the opposite end, like a golden ale, something really nice and easy to drink.
Like the one you got on up there on number 1.
Yeah, that's our spot
I had that
check
number
going
1 on my
on.
flight.
Yeah,
Spot check. That was very well done.
thank you.
And anybody who thinks you can only drink lagers on a hot day and that is full flavored and balanced, delicious. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't dropped into lager territory yet. We're all ales, but actually, shout out to across the bridge here, Fry Brewing Company. Those guys are doing some lagering, so definitely check them out and make sure that feel the local brew love.
Yeah, man. Rising tide.
Exactly, rising tide.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Danny,
Do you have yours?
I like the maltier ends, the roastier ends, so easily a stout. I'm just gonna go all that way, porter and red.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I could drink stouts on the beach all day. Well, I could drink the coconut porter.
Oh yeah,
Literally, in a waking
you
moment.
feel trout drinking this.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the ABV is. It feels like it could be like
Yeah.
5%.
Yeah, like I said, it's not gonna fill your stomach. Like
No,
it's not like I said, it's a porter, and like for me, like I said, if I had to pick three styles, IPA would definitely be up there. Like I said, just because there's so much flavor, there's so many different ways you can brew an IPA. That there's endless possibilities, which is why so many breweries are open, and there's still so many different IPAs out there. But like a porter is just, I don't know, like it fills a niche for me. It's always been a beer that I've enjoyed, like English style porters, like Baltic porters, and American porters have gone in all different directions. Like it's a subtle drink. It's not heavy. It's not going to beat over the head with alcohol content, but like there's so much complexity to it. And then from, like I said, from the other end of the spectrum, like I mean, German pilsners are like to appreciate like how specific and how attentive you have to be to make a good, German, Austrian, like Stiegel, Holland, like Weihenstephaner. Those guys. I mean, whenever I drink one of those beers, like you appreciate how hard it is to lager a beer and do it right. And it's like I would have to have one of those because I could drink those German beers all the time.
Yeah, man, right on. And what you said about like the IPA, for example, but every style really applies, is every brewery does one, but there's so much like wiggle room in it.
Exactly.
But like if you look at IPA back in, flashback 10, 15 years, you had like English style IPA and American IPA. Now, within the American IPA stems out like a family tree of like 15 subcategory IPAs. So they're always changing the style guidelines. I bet the next ones they put out is going to have like a whole category dedicated IPA. So that just goes to show the ingenuity of the craft brewers of this world, especially America, because it's doing awesome. Like the amount of breweries has gone from about under like 80 in 1980 to over it's like 5,300. I can't even keep up with the numbers.
They said around 50. I actually read something today. It was saying 5,500. It was like you said. Like
a few days passed, 200 more open. So
it's
so wait, you didn't tell us your three. You didn't tell us
Let me get to my three. So I would definitely also have to include an IPA. I'm not going to narrow down the specific sub-style because that's too hard, but I would also definitely have a stout in there, and I do lean towards the coffee stouts, or like the oatmeal stout variety is like one of my subcategory favorites. Yeah, and I'll give you a third and like a honorable mention. A third would probably have to be like something like a Belgian Goose. Just like I'm a fan of the sours, and that one is like can really appreciate the complexity in that. But going back to like what you're saying with a nicely done German Pils or a Märzen beer, like really great drinkable lagers. That's the debate on my three, my top three there. So
there's not many bad beer categories.
I respect every beer style for sure,
and that's what we appreciate. Like we'll go out there and we'll try out. You got to appreciate every type of beer for how it's designed.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. I mean, I think in today's age that we live in, there's the majority of the people who are out there have this thought of beer or one experience of beer, and if you just go out and explore, you might just find something that you didn't even think could have been a beer flavor that you're just like, wow, and that could lead you down a path which could take the rest of your life, and it could introduce you to 100 beer styles, which may in 20 years be 200 beer styles. And you have 5,500 breweries in the U.S. now. Fast forward, there's every small town in the U.S. is going to have multiple brew pubs, or small breweries with tap rooms, and you can have your regional and national players. So you're going to have options, and beer should not be something that's overwhelming to start to initiate yourself into. You don't have to go out there and read all these books, but just, go to your local spot, try out the beers, talk to the brewers, the owners there. They're very friendly people. They're going to answer your questions. They're going to guide you, into the flavors that you might like. And you're going to like, there's a beer for everybody. Yeah. And if you think you're a wine drinker, you think you don't like beer, I challenge you on that, because beers don't have to be bitter. Dark beers aren't always heavy.
I hate when women say that too.
Dark beers are not always heavy, and light beers are not always light. So Go out there, challenge your taste buds, explore, experiment. That's what it's all about. Try new beers, respect beer, learn about beer.
Yeah. Plenty to learn.
Yeah, so much.
What do you like to say, Nick?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, there's, so many beer styles out there. Like, if you don't like beer, you just haven't tried the right one yet. Like, you haven't found the right one. And, like I said, we give props to, the people around here because, it really is awesome to be behind the bar and have people come in and ask you questions and, like, kind of put it together for them, like, and see somebody, like, change their opinion on something.
Like that light bulb above their head.
Yeah. Like, they just, like I said, somebody that says, I'd never try, I don't like IPAs,
Change their life.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to make an IPA. You just haven't had the right one yet, And like I said, we get people from 21 up to 70, 80 years old, and that's a good sign to us that
90s,
people that have been didn't have those options when they started drinking beer to come in and then have people that enjoy different styles of beer that have been kind of crossed over, which is tough. If you've done something for 40 years and then you come in and there's all these different wild flavors.
Yeah. This is all very new.
It's cool to see. It's cool to see that it's not just the people that are been born into it. The people that kind of decided. There's better beer out there, and like I said, New Jersey is on its way. There's so many good breweries out here that we're happy to be a part of it. There's been plenty before us, and there's going to be many good ones after us. So it's an exciting time to be around here and drinking beer, and cool creations like this really do change the way you can kind of experience beer. So I mean, this is cool.
I mean, the more interest and excitement about beer, the more it's going to innovate, and the more breweries are going to open and give back to the community. We didn't even get into the chair. Like, you guys have a surf group that comes in here, and you maintain the beaches. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
That's Nick's end.
Yeah, I mean, we're, like I said, we spend a lot of time in the ocean. We want to make sure that it's there for us and for future generations. And there's a lot of threats that impact it. And Surfrider has chapters all over the country, the globe now, and the Jersey Shore Surfrider chapter is one of the bigger ones, and do a lot of good stuff to help make sure that the beaches are protected, to make sure that everybody can enjoy it. That we're trying to limit our plastic use. We're using all glass here, and making sure we be conscious of how we treat the things around us, because we all use it, we all need it. So I mean, Surfrider is a great organization. Well, we try to host meetings here, give them space to kind of congregate and figure out how we can make this our little part of the earth better. So that's kind of some of the things we do, and we care about it. So.
That's so awesome. You get these small breweries popping up all over the country, every little city, and from day one, they've got a mission, and they're supporting the things that they are, passionate about, giving back, creating jobs, giving the people nearby pride in what is produced there, and a place to go, to be communal, meet people, and have awesome beverages. Come on, support craft. It's awesome. It's amazing. So go out there, try beers, check out physics.com, and you can see more about this that we didn't talk about here in this video. And if you have any questions, reach out to us on social media or via email. And I think I will now take on a quick little tour. Sure. I'm gonna grab this. Absolutely. If you guys want to lead and narrate, feel free. But I'm just gonna.
All right. I'll walk
you don't need to go into too much depth. But I'm just gonna.
And this is hops right here.
Oh, we didn't introduce hops, but
I feel like we should introduce that.
Yeah, you just kind of.
No one asks
He
about
or she, I don't know. It's
There's
a
been
pink bow.
one person that's asked
He's
about
been here
it.
since day one, or she's been here since day one.
So there's hops.
Scared a lot of people. We figured just keep them around.
He was here longer than
So
us,
here is the main tasting room. Okay, so we got the glass front door going out to kind of the main strip here in Point Pleasant, and we got the broken surfboards on the wall.
Boards. We got a few, artwork designed boards by our friend Billy, who makes rideable art, which is really awesome.
Rideable art.
All of these
Look at
boards
that.
are rideable, and they are for sale. Yeah.
Look at that.
Probably gonna buy one in there.
Even more supporting of local. All
As
right.
well as we have a gallery wall that we have local artists that were set up last
Love it. So then we're coming over here. Got the barrel tables.
Yeah, and this is the apparently very
Here's the current tap list.
Lots of good stuff on there.
And in case you guys are wondering, we are closed here. That's why we got some. That's why it was nice and quiet for the video, but it was fully packed the entire time I was here beforehand. Heading up now into the brew house and cellar.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us what size system you're working with here and walk us through everything. It looks like a pretty game.
So we've got a single vessel brew system here, which is a little different than anything else you'll see in New Jersey right now. I don't know where the other closest one is. This is basically a big tea bag, pasta strainer, whatever you want to call it. And basically, everything in the vessel we mash, we boil, and then we transfer to our fermenters over here. So this is a 5-barrel system, which means
5 barrels.
10 big kegs at a one run. We have 3 5-barrel fermenters, and then we've got a big 10-barrel in the corner that we can double batch.
So you can double batch, nice.
Just double batch our A-frame IPA, and you can get us on tap at a few local bars. So that helps us, stay ahead of the curve here, especially during the summertime.
Right on. Well, I want to thank you guys all so much for having Physics here today, and I hope you gave a good look to everybody. And if you're in New Jersey or New York, if you're visiting, or if you want to make a road trip, this is the spot. It's summer. Come here, come to the beach, drink some beer. All right, cheers.